We are live. Welcome back to United States. Oh, you're just using your fucking privileges, are you? Straight away.
I didn't know. Sorry.
I took you out of the room for a reason. Fuck off.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Just gave him fucking co-host privileges on StreamYard, and he thinks he could just fucking go about it willy-nilly. Yeah, welcome to United States of Australia. I am the Aussie guy, and currently the only person joining me is the man that makes Dwight Howard's delusion seem pretty tame.
Oh,
Robbie, the Mariner fan, how you doing?
I didn't see that one coming, to be honest.
That's the point
Well,
of
I
it,
mean,
isn't
I saw the story to be coming. I didn't see the joke there.
it? Welcome to the show,
It's like
Robbie.
this. Yeah, that's not very surprising. I'm just waiting for when Aaron Rodgers admits he's gay, and then I'll be done with my gay conspiracies.
What about Josh Allen?
Josh Allen's
You
not gay.
you want that though, don't you? You want him to be gay.
Why would I want that?
Well, then you might be a chance.
What?
Then you might be a chance.
Oh no.
He might be into bears. Who's the bear?
Okay, let's move on. Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, welcome everybody. A few people are here already, which is exciting. Nobody has posted a comment, but that's fine. It is Shane's birthday bash, and you might be asking yourself, as someone did on Twitter earlier, who's Shane? And look, Shane is, I don't know the best way to describe him, Robbie. Friend of the show for a long time, then not so much of a friend of the show, and then friend of a show again. Yeah, look, Shane and I in particular have had a very up and down relationship. But Shane contributed so many emails and so much conversation to the show that I thought we gotta wish him a happy birthday. We gotta say, yeah. Ripman is here. Robbie is a little past it's a little past bear. Manatee comes to mind though. You working on your grammar would be help read it, Ripman, but I worked my way through that. Is it not a bad joke? Not a bad joke. Who's this YC? Hi fellas. What does that say? YCDTOTV_2001. I'm not going to read that every time you comment. If we read your comment, I'm not going to read your
Just call him
username.
YC, I guess.
I'll call him YC. Yeah. And it will. Hang on. He's got a comment. Come on, Robbie. This is your job.
No,
Robbie
I was like, God damn, it stunned me. That's why I didn't click on it right away.
Robbie should be wearing the green hoodie since he looks like a leprechaun. Fiddity-dee.
Honestly, you look more like a leprechaun than I do right now.
Because I got a green
You're wearing
hoodie on.
green.
Yeah, but you've got a ginger beard. It's more of a leprechaun thing. Fat leprechaun, but a leprechaun nonetheless. So yeah, it's Shane's birthday. Happy birthday, Shane. Seriously. Honest to God, hand on heart. I do wish you a happy birthday. Robbie, Matt Wilson's here. Good morning, guys. You're entertaining me while I donate blood. Well, good for you donating blood. I don't donate blood because I use illicit substances, which I don't think you're allowed to.
No.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, no one can donate blood anymore in Oregon, besides me, apparently.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think I'd want your blood either. Like the amount of depression flowing through your body. You can imagine what that would do to society if your blood got out. Speaking of which, you can drop that comment off the screen. Speaking of which, you apparently again when you logged into the StreamYard, I said, "How you doing?" You went, "Feel like shit." What's going on? You always feel like shit, but what's going on this time?
This is like an official feel like shit because I have COVID and it's like I have a fever of 101, 102 ish all week. So I don't feel well, but I'm taking one for the team, Committed to the game. A pro's pro.
Do you think the morbid obesity has a bit to do with you being sick all the time?
Can't help.
Yeah.
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 YC's got a comment there, and if someone's asking, we'll address it. You want to
I
click on
didn't
that
want
one?
to, but you can. You're
No,
brave.
well, what do you mean, brave? No, he says, "Where is Rox?" is the comment from YC. And Rox is no longer a co-host of the show, so that's the long and the short of it. Happy birthday from you sadist. What's that? Sadist vodka. Happy birthday. I like the name. It's good.
I remember the time that reminds me of a quick story that has nothing to do with
Yep.
anything. But
Oh, brilliant.
my mom used to mix like vanilla vodka with these Diet Cokes she would get from like Del Taco, which is like a Mexican fast food place. But anyway, they were like 32-ounce cups, right? And
Mm.
this would be on a Friday, and she wouldn't drink very often, so like she'd put the ratio of vodka to Diet Coke was probably closer to half and half than it was the other way around. And I was like 14 at the time. I'm like, and we both got a drink and it got switched. And I'm like, did they like give me vanilla Diet Coke? I didn't remember that was an option at Del Taco. And my mom was like, oh, that must be mine. Give it to me. I'm like, okay, here. And it was completely gone by the time I gave it to her. And I mean, that was a good like 16 ounces of vodka. I just like, and I drink really fast. So I must have been like less than 5 minutes. I downed the entire thing. And it was, yeah, my mom was embarrassed about
See,
that.
like, because my initial thought was, why not just go vodka with vanilla Diet Coke? But I guess the point was that she wants the vanilla flavor, and if it's predominantly vodka, then she's going to lose the vanilla flavor. So go the vanilla vodka. Very clever. Mike Roach, welcome. Mike Roach, a big, like Matt Wilson, big GMG fan. Get my Go fan. COVID, hasn't Robbie suffered enough? He thinks Anthony Kiedis is talented. That's great. Look, Anthony Kiedis has a talent, and that is somehow fooling people into thinking that he's a good singer. That is a talent. That's a great talent. He's made millions. Millions. Good for him. He's done well.
Okay, first off, he is a good singer, but second off, it's not apparently it's not that hard. Look how much Taylor Swift has made. Is she objectively a good singer? Like, I am so sick of this
Yeah,
Taylor
but she's a
Swift bullshit.
songwriter, though. She's a songwriter.
Oh please, there's no singer songwriter that makes $1 billion. It's not the.
No, but I mean, no. Anthony Kiedis is a songwriter too. No, I'm going down the wrong
Yeah, I
path.
know.
I'm not going to bury him like that. That's rude. Marcel, I just saw this. You saw my 30th birthday back 2 weeks ago. Now Shane's awesome. Yeah, we definitely wished you a happy birthday 2 weeks ago, Marcel, and happy birthday again. And happy birthday to Shane. I haven't seen him in the chat. He said he was going to be here, unless he's YC. I know.
I
It wouldn't be because
Shane being YC.
But no, because I think he wished, unless he wished himself a happy birthday earlier, who knows? But
that would be a deep fake. Well,
Taylor Swift
remember
rules.
he ran 2 Twitter accounts to have a conversation with himself that one time, the Philly Rob tribute account.
That's true. He did
That blew my mind.
I forgot about that. That's great.
You just broke the share that made you laugh so loud.
Yeah. Taylor Swift rules. YC reckons. Misha's back from last time. You see, Misha said happy birthday. You're sucking at this, Robbie. I was like, you can take this role because you read the chat quicker than me, and you're struggling.
No, I'm not. I didn't know you want me to click on every single one.
Not every single one, but you know. Just someone
better for you?
Yeah, all right. Now you're going to be a dickhead about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. This one, happy birthday. Remember Misha from last time? She was great. And she said she'd go out for a coffee with you. We still haven't fucking organized that. Can we sort that out, Misha? That's the one, yeah. My name refers to you can't do that on television. I'm not Marcel. All right. No, well, that's good. Thanks. I'll see you next Saturday for the return of the podcast for the third time. Can't wait. You know what, Shane? Marcel, sure. Yep. Definitely. We will see you next week.
Such awkward promotion.
I know, but no, in all seriousness, if Marcel's internet connection is better and it's not going to be choppy,
he's doing his own morning show.
Well, that's a good point. No, definitely. All right, next week, Marcel, hit me up on Twitter or X.
Just make sure you mention it on a Ben Maller show because that wouldn't be awkward at all.
No, that wouldn't be. Definitely do that. Marcel definitely do that.
Especially since Marcel called, or like Ben's like pissed off that he hasn't been on Marcel's show, and so Ben's like actively campaigning to be on Marcel's show because apparently like these local guys in Maine got on their show first, the Mannix brothers, and so Ben's like, I don't know, that would be all sorts of awkward. It could be an absolute train wreck, so don't do that.
Yeah.
Unless you do.
Misha is a little bit unsure. Oh, have Uncle Dynamite bring Marcel a new router. That's a good idea. I want to go back to Misha. Hate to hear you were sick on your B-Day. No, it's not Robbie's B-Day. It's Shane's. Shane is a friend of the show.
Sorry, go ahead.
But Robbie was probably sick on his birthday because he's sick every fucking week. I don't know.
I've had people in my family die on my birthday, so close.
My grandpa died the day before my 11th birthday.
My grandma died on my 21st birthday, so I think
NBA fan on Twitter. Okay. It's usually just E, isn't it? Like the username is E.
He doesn't follow me. What is it with people watching our show and supporting us, but that they refuse to follow me? You got the sports card guy, Ian or whatever, Chad. There we go, Chad.
Oh, Chad, A and B, yeah.
He doesn't follow me. Husey unfollowed me after I begged him to follow me. I think Mike Durbin follows me, but I'm sure word will get out. I'm whining about this, and he'll unfollow me just to piss me off.
Mike is that kind of guy where he would do that. And I might even give him a heads up to do it.
Obnoxious John doesn't follow me.
No, and he's been on the show a couple of times.
Yeah, I know.
He's actually talked to you.
I follow everybody that's been on our show, unlike other people that used to run our account, and none of them fucking follow me.
That's great. We might make that a rule. If you want to come on this show, you have to unfollow Robbie.
That's not funny.
Hold off. Oh, that's a good one. My grandma died on her 96th birthday. How's that? That's brilliant. That is brilliant. I love that. What, isn't that perfect synergy? Like you die
it'd be
on the same date.
100th birthday. 100th birthday. That would be
fun. Oh, who gives a fuck the age? Dying on your birthday. That's brilliant. Robbie, I don't care about the Mariners since Ichiro left, so I don't follow you. Well done. That's fair. That's fair. Too much Mariners propaganda on Robbie's Twitter feed.
Yeah, right.
Robbie may not be sick. Wait. Is this not more of Big Greg just doing his shitty writing? Robbie may not be sick on his everyday, but he's probably depressed. Yes. On his everyday? That's not a real sentence, Greg. Anyway, you are right, though. He is definitely depressed. He's always depressed. Maybe they don't follow because of all the gay links that go with it. That's true. You follow Robbie, you start getting all this LGBTQ stuff coming up on your timeline. It's crazy.
It's LGBTQIASS plus, you bigot.
Good point. All right. Well, we did have a plan for tonight. And look, in all seriousness, that I am a little bit worried about Scoop because he said he'd probably be here by now. But he did, from my understanding, from what I read from his messages, he's kind of out of the quote-unquote battle zone. I mean, I guess it's all kind of a battle zone in theory, but he was out of the quote-unquote battle zone. But maybe things just ran long or what he was doing today. So hopefully he arrives soon. But, and I had another idea, but if nobody else rocks up, we're not going to do it. But we did have something that we were going to do, and we've talked about it for a while. And it was kind of hammered home to me last episode where Robbie and Big Greg couldn't name one fucking Australian athlete. And Scoop had a couple in the belt, under his belt.
I got Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some easy ones. So what we decided this week, we're going to talk about Australian athletes that have actually made an impact or, done a little something in, I guess, the big four US sports, unless you've got anyone outside of the big four. But And look, I couldn't name you an Australian hockey player. I know they exist. They do
They
exist.
do.
Yeah, no, they do. I remember Eddie Garcia, and I could have gone back through old fucking
No, that's right.
messages with Eddie. Eddie told me about an Australian that was really, really good. Yes, Iowa punter Tory Taylor. Yeah, he's from what I understand, a very, very talented punter, and
Very well used punter.
yeah,
Considering
yeah,
how terrible
good
their
point.
offense.
Yeah, yes, that's another good point. But no, look, a good punter, like a genuinely good punter with the skills, can make a difference for your team. Not a
Well, I
huge
mean,
difference, but a difference nonetheless.
the Bills punter should have won the MVP of that game on Thursday night. He had like 5 kicks in a row get pinned inside the 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
we
suck my
will
Ravens.
definitely Australian athlete talk. I am out. Go fuck yourself, Rib man. Go get drunk, catch some fish, and then let them back in the water. Like, what's
Yeah,
the point?
can I hot take,
Hey,
if you're gonna
sorry.
go through the fucking effort to fish, just fucking kill it and eat it. What's the point
Exactly.
of torture, scaring the bejesus out of it, and then letting it back in the water? I don't understand it. I can't wrap my head around it. It's just
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah, I know. To me, that's just torture. Like you're like,
Yeah,
yeah, fuck
good.
it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pierce your fucking mouth and drag you, kicking and screaming, and then when it's all done, I'll give you a kiss and I'll fucking throw you back. Go fuck yourself. Somebody that probably is doing that to Russians right now has just joined us. Jay Scoob is in the house.
If only I could detail something that awesome. What's going on, y'all?
It's good to see you. We were just literally talking about how we're slightly worried about you because of the fact that we discussed it and you said you'd probably be ready around this time or a bit earlier. So we're glad to see that you popped on the stream. And it's good to see you on camera and in a relatively safer place than you were last week. How's things been going?
I'm still stuck on when you said I popped on the screen. I'll never leave that 7th grade mentality. But yeah, things are all right. Yeah, of course, typical alarm went off like just before I was gonna come in here. So, and I actually logged in, or I don't know if you could see that I was sitting there I was on the outside screen where you do whatever diagnostics. So I wasn't sure if you could see that, and you were like, "Why is this fucker not coming into the stream?"
Now, look, I'm pretty sure we only see you once you've clicked Enter Studio. So, no, I saw you there. I let Robbie finish his point, and then he actually segued us nicely into a little joke for me to introduce you. So it's all good.
Yeah,
and
no,
Big
I
Greg
was
was happy to
actually
say that he can see you this time. So yeah.
the screen that you're at before I hit Enter Studio, where you're like, "Oh, here I'm gonna check my audio and all that." My computer was sitting on that for about a half an hour while I was going to a safe spot. So I wasn't sure if you could see that. It would have been funny. Just like, this douchebag, he's just gonna sit there the whole show right outside the stream. But yeah, no, it's good to be here.
It's great to have you. We did actually. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. You did actually send something through, some questions. Do you remember? I'm sorry, Jeff Yapuncic had some questions about sort of in Ukraine, in that situation on the front lines, quote unquote, whatever you want to call it, like sort of food distribution and getting all the necessities that you need, and like what that situation is like when you guys are in a war situation. Can you give Jeff a little bit of insight as to what goes on there on the front line over there?
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm glad that I told you to remind me, because I totally fucking forgot. And but I bet I do remember the question. But I was thinking it was like, about like random food that I've been eating in Ukraine. I didn't think it was about the front line, which is not as as exciting. But the cool part about the food, because just like with all the munitions and everything, right? Like people have to scramble to get what they can get. Well, when it comes to the food, there's a lot of kitchens and just different non-profits that are making and packaging different kinds of food things. Some of it doesn't, it's not very appealing the way it might look or sound, but if you're sitting there and you're fucking hungry, then you're going to eat it. And I will argue that some of it's still better than some MREs that I've had. But yeah, you'll have like dry, I don't know if borscht is the national dish, if you will, but it's kind of like, I'm not good at describing it, but it's like a soup with like stuff in it. What a horrible description.
Noodles, right?
No,
Noodles?
No, not noodles. No, but and more, it's not always red, but 95% of the time when I've had it, it's like been red.
I've had borscht soup, but it's like they have macaroni noodles in it, like the.
I mean, my guess would be that you could literally probably just have it be any, throw anything in there, as long as you maybe make the broth a certain way, probably. So that's something that I don't know as much, but I can tell you that I've always enjoyed it, and it's definitely filled me up. So that's one of the things they'll like throw out, like dried packages of that. So obviously it's not as good as babushka grandma makes, but and then just a bunch of other things like that. Depends on the kitchen, depends on your unit, how it got to you. And a lot of that stuff actually goes to civilians also that are in trouble areas. So, yeah.
No, look, it is interesting because I don't think anyone really thinks about it. Like, you see your war movies and all that, and it's never really like addressing the guys just stopping and having a feed and stuff like that. Like, you don't actually see that kind of thing of what's going on. Like, how are you getting food when you're under fire and all that shit? Sorry, Robbie, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, the movies don't glorify the supply chain, but that's like just as important as anything else, because you can only go as fast as the supplies behind you can keep up. So.
Yeah, I'm like trying to picture a scene in a war movie where they're eating, and if they're doing anything, it's probably just like a generic prison-looking cafeteria plate that you don't really even know what the fuck they're eating.
Yeah,
like I've always thought like historical novels do a better job of kind of describing battle scenes than movies do, but movies make the money, so.
Like I can think of MASH, like the mess. I mean, the mess hall, in MASH, but that's actually like a medical facility. Like it's, like they've got the big red symbol on the top. So, there is some little level of class that you don't bomb a medical facility, but, nothing on the front lines of actually how they're eating. Big Greg, borscht is a sour soup made with meat stock, vegetables, and seasonings. Well, thank you, Big Greg. If someone was going to know about food other than Robbie, it's Big Greg in Iowa. And I think Greg seems like the kind of guy that is more of a prepare your own, like he is fat because he enjoys his own work. You know what I mean?
You'll typically... the normal way, you typically might have like some kind of like bread thing with you, and maybe like a dollop of like sour cream that you could shoot, and that's what I fucking love, my sour cream, dude. So anyways, but we don't have that when you're at the front typically, unless you're lucky.
Robbie knows what's coming. Robbie's always got a daub of sour cream on him at any
But yeah, it's so funny that you say about the movies, but I will say that most of them, American wise, are accurate in, you just got this Vietnam Sea Rat can, or MREs in the more modern times, and then guys trying to mix stuff together to make a big concoction that might taste better than what their thing was alone and all that. But unfortunately, we don't have MREs over here. So
yeah. Yeah, sorry, Big Greg just popped up with a middle finger and a thumbs up, which I assume means fuck you, but yes, you're right. No, I think it would be cool to have a movie like about like get like a van of food that needs to get to the fucking crew on the front line that's like trying to get there and they're under fire, and this mission to try and get food to some people that need it. I think that would be a pretty compelling, interesting movie done the right way.
yeah, it's
Wasn't
called.
there a movie about that only with beer? In Vietnam or
I
something?
think there. Yeah, I think.
Oh,
that's
maybe there was. Maybe I need to go. I mean, look, I'm not.
Not
I'm
sure
actually
about the
surprised that
reviews.
Robbie's the person bringing that up. But
But
no,
this
maybe-
one, but this movie is going to be called Major Roach Coach. Is that what do they call it that where you're from, Ozzy? Like for us, a lot of places, the Roach Coach is the the vehicle that pulls up randomly at some work site, and I mean, a lot of them are more specialized now, but you know, before when it was just hit or miss, whatever they were serving. And I assume they got that name because a lot of them didn't clean as good as they probably
yeah,
should.
you're talking like a food van kind of
Yeah,
thing.
they pull up and people might go out from their work and really quick grab
That's
something.
one of our situations where like the brand becomes what you call it over here. Like so,
Yeah.
like a cooler over here is called an Esky because the first ever cooler the brand was called Esky. So we just call every cooler an Esky, and
Right.
so that would be a Jiffy van. The first big company that started having these vans go around to work sites was called Jiffy Foods. So you just call every food truck, every food van a Jiffy van. But yeah, I know exactly.
But now they make a crap like these people have these like super souped up vehicles, and they're like, you know, it's just Joe's Barbecue, and he's pulled up right next to Marianne's Macaroni Fest, and she's parked next to Tito's Tacos, you know, whatever. So now it's like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of how you hear about New York, the hot dog vendors down there make like a killing just doing these cheap ass fucking hot dogs.
Yeah. Ribman popping in with, I don't know if Robbie didn't want to bring this one up.
I
Guessing
clicked on
Robbie,
it for a while.
Did you? Sorry, well, we were talking. Guessing Robbie isn't a big soup guy.
I hate soup.
Just not filling enough for you.
Pretty much.
It's just like having a drink, isn't it? It's like if I was thirsty, I'd have a drink.
I mean, it's like a decent appetizer, but like people that are like, well, just have a can of chicken noodle soup as a meal. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'll admit though, I've never really been a soup guy, but when I came over here, I knew, I was like, I heard what borscht basically was, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to like adjust my ways. But then I had it, and it was really good to me. But yeah, most of my life it's been like, okay, I don't want it. The only time you really had it was as a kid. If you were sick, your mom brought you chicken noodle soup, and that was like the standard. So I think the only thing I've ever really liked is like like the chunky ones that basically almost isn't a soup.
Yeah. And
then tomato soup, because it's basically almost like me just drinking tomato sauce or something. That's the closest. So yeah.
Ribman, sounds like Ukraine is our best weight loss option for Robbie. Yeah.
It is, dude.
I wouldn't mind going to Kyiv.
I came here, I got in shape, I went back to the US, I fucking put a bunch of pounds back on. I came back here and it's sliding off. A little slower this time because now I have people trying to like make me drink all the time. But,
yeah. Chris, you can absolutely go fuck yourself. Hey guys, I finally popped in for the live version of the Fat Guys in the Woody podcast.
That's Chris.
Fuck you. That is offensive. If you were to say I popped in for a live version of the fat guy and the morbidly obese guy in a hoodie, then I'd be more comfortable with that. Don't put me in the same category as Robbie. We are not in the same fucking category. That is bullshit. But thanks for joining us live. Chris and Des Moines. Scoop.
yeah,
Scoop.
like
Yeah, your hoodie's great. It's good. Is there any blood on that towel?
Shit. It's a blanket, it's not a towel, but yes.
Scoob, I don't know if you're aware, but it's this episode is Shane's birthday bash. Reminding everyone again, Shane in Des Moines, friend of the show. It is his birthday. Do you have any message or well wishes for Shane on his birthday?
Thanks for not did I have anything to drink when I went to visit him? Well, anyways, thanks for not poisoning me when I went to visit you when I did my cross country trek.
We love you, Shane.
Yeah.
Happy birthday again, mate.
I'll give you shit, but you're still one of us.
Look,
You're still a person.
He goes out of his way.
Yeah,
to
I'm not going that far, Robbie. No,
yeah. Let's settle down. But no, he goes out of his way to try and promote us to his 23 followers because he blocked everyone. But he does promote us, and he's been supportive. And look, he did give us a bunch of content back in the Mallertown days when we were reading emails. Like, Shane helped us fill hours of the show.
Probably was like
It
90%
goes to his emails.
Yeah.
Probably 90% of all email content of the history of that show.
Yeah, exactly. So no, we do love you, Shane. We absolutely do, and we appreciate you showing support. And it was sad for a little while there when Shane wasn't retweeting our stuff and promoting the show. Yeah, we can all accept it's because of me. I'm a bully, and that's fine. But it's good to have you back, Shane. Zachary Franco, he blocked me for no reason too, or blocked me too for no reason.
Well, you know what you need to do, Zach attack.
Yes. Hey, Zach. Who are you? No, just in terms of just in terms of. No.
Where's your badge? Are you FBI? Are you the feds?
No,
just in terms of. Does he go by a different name, like on Twitter or something like that? Like, quite often, people do have like their real name on YouTube, but they have a yeah. There you go. I have a few accounts on X.
But I can just
I know
imagine.
this.
You can just imagine.
Crank Shuttle. Yeah.
You walk up to whoever, some celebrity, that you want to meet. Maybe it's like I don't know, Mike Trout, and you walk up to, hey, I finally got to meet you. Nice to meet you, Mr. Trout. Hey, who are you?
What are you talking about?
And I know he doesn't know me, but if he says that, this is so fucking offensive.
Yeah. Like, why would you go out of your way to say that to someone? Like, of course you don't know that. Yeah. Good point. But no, Crank Shuttle. The FSR Crank Shuttle, I think, is the Twitter handle. No, very supportive dude. Delusion's kind of blown now. Now I know he's Zachary Franco. I could go to his Facebook and I could dox him. You know what I mean? It breaks some of the illusion. But
your own death warrant, Zach. You've stepped into the arena and there is no survivor.
That's right. I'm not saying anything. Ribman, sorry. I'm not saying anything about shame. Shane, I am on 2-week no blog streak. Ribman copped a fair bit of collateral damage. Like, he is a needling prick as well, which is part of the reason I love him. And he's just a genuinely funny guy. But
I hate to tell you, it was actually a typo. He's on a 2-week no block steak. He's actually eating right now.
I thought it said steak originally too.
Yeah, he's eating steak to block himself off. He wants to do a really big shit in like a week.
Oh god!
Have you seen that South Park episode where Randy Marsh takes the world's biggest shit? No. That's such a funny episode. Such a funny episode.
Is it like a Bono, like just poop or something?
Yes. He was born from poop, and then every time he answers the phone, it's hello. So good, so good. We had a topic for today that we're about to get into when Scoop rocked up. We were gonna Ribman and the chat did their best to get me away from talking about Australian athletes, but I'm doing it. I'm forging ahead to talk about Robbie. You had me at stake.
I'm not a
Yes,
big fan of steak.
Really?
Nah.
You don't like chicken either, do you?
I
Alberta
really
beef.
don't like chicken.
This
Telling you.
imagine a fat man, like a morbidly obese man, that doesn't like steak and chicken.
I mean, like steak,
have some
almost steakhouse is
self-respect.
about the only place I've had steak that I've actually liked.
Yeah, I like most stuff, but I don't like chicken, steak, cheese, pasta, Mexican.
Yeah, exactly. He gets fat off Mexican. That's it.
I mean, Mexican's okay.
There's no explanation of how you got this fat with the amount of stuff you don't like.
I'm sorry, just that side tangent. What is your favorite food then? Like, it's got to be on the top of your head.
Italian food, pizza, barbecue.
That's chalk.
Thai food.
Yeah, you could get that fat off of pizza. That's fair.
The stuffed crust, you know it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I love
And
pizza.
add
Who
the
don't love
dipping
pizza?
cup.
What about tube steak, Robbie?
What is tube steak?
Smothered in underwear.
Like the.
Does that give the hint?
No, I mean, is there literally an actual thing as tube steak, or is it just a euphemism for dick?
I love what we've done to you.
You just said it's smothered in underwear. Shit.
I wanted to go back to this one. Oh yeah, is Roxanne Robbie's mother Mexican and pizza?
Ooh.
Yeah, but in that extent, like Mexican and pizza, Roxanne used to deliver pizza and deliver Mexicans to orgasm. That's Robbie's not a delivery person. So I just wanted to go back to Chris. This one here. I just got here. Have we had the Robbie complaining about Oregon segment yet? We haven't, Chris. We haven't yet. Haven't got to that. That's in the fifth hour.
And you just mentioned Oregon, so I'm surprised he didn't pick up right there and dunk it.
It was your opportunity.
What is there to say? It's a shithole state, godforsaken. Its own ring of hell.
Oh. There you are, Chris.
All right, let's get into the segment because I made Robbie research for this because he was so particularly ignorant on the last episode, and so I wanted him to go out there. So, Robbie,
I have a few opinions too, just so you know.
Last week's podcast with Greg was the fattest podcast ever recorded. I guess Rox left because she got jealous that everyone had bigger tits.
No, she was actually in the last one, but she was squished between the screens.
Tell you what, Robbie and Big Greg have got some sloppy tits. Let me tell you that much. Roxanne's have got some perk to them.
They're not real, so
yeah. Well, that's why they got perk to them. But yours are the kind of tits that just slink down your stomach, and you know what I
mean. I need to throw a lame joke though at Robbie because I know that on the outside he said that he has a good list. That he thinks he has a really good list, but he doesn't mean to toot his own horn. Come on, dude, you can't reach your horn. Of course, you can't toot it.
Yeah, you can't see it either.
I almost just threw my pen at the screen, but that probably would have broke my laptop. So I'm glad I did.
I couldn't resist. Sorry, Robbie. All right, go ahead, Ozzy.
Robbie, I'm an overweight guy, and like I do have to lean forward a little bit to see mine. I'll be honest, but I imagine you require a mirror. So Fuck you, Rick. Fuck you, Ripman. We're doing it. Let's do that segment instead of Australian. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're having it. No, we're good. We're forging ahead with this. I made Robbie do some research, and it would be funny if we did just bail on it after Robbie did research. But no, I actually want to talk about this.
To be honest, I was worried about that.
Like, we switched Turkish athletes. Go.
Yeah, exactly.
Answer. Boom.
I knew you were gonna say that, dude.
Hey, what size bottle is that, Scoop?
Well, it's probably
I
in
knew-
grams.
Name
And
it.
I'm sup-
I love how you say it like it's like, oh, I knew you were going to say that guy. Like, there's another guy. I don't know anybody else.
No,
I'm
I
guessing-
literally, that's the only one I knew. So that's why I knew you would
I'm
say.
sorry. I'm on a defensive footing now. I'm just like,
Before
it's like in a video game where they have friendly fire off, but you thought it was a bad guy, so you just turn around and you just realize you mowed down your entire team.
before you answer, Scoop, to me, because we work with the metric system in most of the world, I'm guessing that's a 1.25 liter.
Oh fuck! You went with the liters instead of milliliters. So either
liter.
Well, it'll be 1,250 milliliters.
I drink those all the time. They're 1 liter.
either it's insanely small or I'm getting old, but I had to zoom in on this fucking small ass writing. I still don't really understand their whole, well, I don't know how it is in Australia, but we have like a very standard, like what's on each product. And so I'm
Yeah.
so used to that. I still have not gotten used to the Ukrainian one. And it's all in such small writing. So
It's 1 liter. I can tell from here.
I think it's 1 liter, but I don't
might
see
be
where
1
it
liter.
says the whole.
Our-
I see the part where it says, basically the per serving. So that's clearly not. It.
Ours, if they were that size, they'd be 1.25 liters. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I will keep looking while we go on to the next.
Interesting one. Sorry, the interesting one is the big Red Bull can. I don't know what it is for you guys, but the big Red Bull can is 473 mils. Like, why not just go 500 or 450? Like, why 473? It's such a specific number.
I wonder
It's
if they're
very weird.
dodging a regulation by keeping it under 475 or something.
Yeah, maybe. That's a good point. What's this smart ass saying now? If it was alcohol, I would know how many. I don't doubt that. We should do what's Ribman drinking. We haven't done that in a while.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's drinking margaritas today because it's morning. It's a bit more of a morning fun. Maybe a Bloody Mary. I don't know. Anyway, Robbie, let's do it. Let's talk Australian athletes. You did some research. I told you to find me at least 5. Did you manage to find 5?
Yes.
All right, good. Hit me with
Your best shot.
yeah.
Any particular? Okay, so the first one is Travis Bazzana, the second baseman for the Oregon State Beavers. Now you may think, you may be like, oh, it's just some random guy. He's the odds-on favorite to be the first overall pick in MLB draft next year. And if he were to be a first-round pick, he'd be the first native-born Australian to be a first-round pick, regardless if he was the first overall pick. And last year I believe he hit 491 and he was 31 for 31 in stolen base attempts. So he's pretty much like a faster version of Dustin Pedroia, if you guys know who that is.
The little fella.
Second-
The itty bitty fella.
What?
There it is.
750
Milliliters. That's crazy,
Really?
right? How is it not at least 1,000 milliliters? Like, how is it?
How is it that small? That's crazy. Now that you're holding it up, it is shorter than the 1.25.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Here, let me put it next to my dick. Oh, sorry. Trying to give you reference. Anyways, we solved that mystery. Sorry.
How with 3 inches he'll help us sort out volume? No, actually, some of those Ukrainian birds that you sent me pictures of, you must have a massive hog because there is no way you're pulling those stunning women.
Jesus Christ.
What?
You are true, but in the 3 inches joke, it would have been the size of a pizza than the width, the girth.
Comedian Arch Parker once did a joke about offering a woman some wine, and she's like, "Sure, I'll have some wine, but I only want this much." And he's like, "All right, so I gave her this much, but I served it to her in a lasagna dish." Because although she suggested the height of the amount, she didn't specify the size of the receptacle used. Anyway, always thought that was funny. So Robbie, you went with a baseball player for the Oregon State Beavers. He's projected to be a first round draft pick, which that is
The
pretty
first
impressive.
overall. First overall.
Oh, he's going to be the first pick in the draft, not just the first rounder. He would be the first rounder from Australia.
Unless he craters, he'll be a top 5 pick. No doubt.
Wow. Oh, so you've really delved deep and done some research.
Well, that
and you went baseball.
Yeah.
You went baseball, so I'll go baseball to follow up. For me, Robbie, you might have been a bit young. Scoop, you might have heard of him. Graham Lloyd. Ever heard of Graham Lloyd?
That name sounds familiar, and of course, that's totally a fucking Australian name, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Graham Lloyd. You gotta say it with your thick Australian accent.
Graham Lloyd.
That's it.
He pitched on I think it was the 95 Yankees.
Oh, I would have been 3 years old.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. But no, I watched him. Our baseball team here in Perth, the Perth Heat, the best baseball franchise in the history of Australian baseball, like won countless championships and all that. And in the early 90s, they were really great. I used to watch the Perth Heat on a Saturday afternoon on Channel 7, I think it was, or Channel 9, when we had like 4 channels before cable and shit. But no, I used to love watching the Perth Heat, and he used to be like a killer pitcher for the Perth Heat. And so I watched him go over to the US, and yeah, he got on the Yankees and played in the World Series and won a World Series with the Yankees. He's probably, like, in terms of an impact on a championship, because he was a very, very good pitcher. In terms of an impact on a championship, he might be the best, like, Australian in terms of playing in a winning team and actually really genuinely impacting that winning team.
Was Alonzo Mourning on that Perth Heat team?
No, he wasn't. But Perth Heat, it flows, doesn't it? Like, I think it works well, the Perth Heat.
I think that if you had a town of like mostly fat people, it would be a perfect name because it's almost like Perth Eat.
Yeah, there you go. What is factually fascinating is we've lost. Oh no, we just got a couple back. As I say, we lost half our audience since we started this segment, but
you're like, fuck, guys, yeah, this episode's really gone down under.
Yeah. But no, we went from 6 to 3, but we're back up to 5. So let's keep rolling. Who did you have in your next slot there, Robbie?
Jordan Mailata, the left tackle of the Eagles.
Yeah.
He was drafted in the 7th round, even though he never played football, based on a video, because he's 6'8", 366 pounds, and had a less than 20% body fat.
Rugby player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Growing up.
And now I think he made the All-Pro team last year. 2nd team All-Pro, maybe.
And he's a good soundbite too. I've read a couple of his quotes on Twitter recently.
He's like a singer and everything, so.
And I hate the fucking Eagles, but you know, it's one of those things that I guess national pride or whatever. You're always happy to see an Australian succeed on the international stage, or, you know, the American stage. So like, yeah, I'm happy for him. He's very good. Like you say, built, as we say in Australia, built like a brick shithouse. And yeah.
Do you just get to curse like in school, say stuff like that?
Look, we've got as soft as the rest of the world, but we are still a little bit more liberal with language. You do hear the word cunt a lot more in Australia than
Oh Jesus! What the fuck?
than you would probably anywhere else. F you, Robbie says, thanks, Yuzi. Thanks for joining us. So that means you're not going to follow Robbie? Robbie was bitching about that at the start of the show.
I mean, he
that you don't
followed me,
follow
then
him.
unfollowed me. I mean, what did I do to him? I like
Well,
Oasis. He seems to like Oasis.
Well, maybe you can. Do you like Bruce Springsteen?
No, I hate Bruce Springsteen.
Whoa, yeah, that was a mistake.
You two, come on. That was so obvious what the answer there.
He'll probably block you now. Hughesy, block him. Seriously, block him.
No, I like his tweets. I'm sorry, the guy can't sing. What do you want me to say?
The guy can't sing. You're a fucking Chili Peppers fan. What the fuck?
Yeah, he can sing. He's got the voice of an angel compared to Bruce Springsteen.
If that's the voice of an angel, I don't want to go to heaven. I'll say that.
I don't think you'll be allowed to, so it doesn't matter.
Probably not. No, I'm pretty sure I'm blacklisted from that place.
When you said cunt was the word over there, and then my friends were telling me a bunch of bad words over here in Ukrainians. I know one of them is suka. So if you say that, it's definitely not taken very well over here, and it's borderline cunt over here.
So Robbie's a little suka.
Suka.
I agree. Shuttlecock. Cunt is a great word, and I think the Australian accent.
Sorry.
How did Robbie find time to research this while juggling work, school, and coverage D and children? I mean, he does have to work with children. I don't know why, but he does. Send Hughesy the link, Big Greg says. No. We're not going to do that. Last time Hughesy jumped on, he just said, fuck Ray DeVito, and then left. So... Chris says, what's the Ukrainian word for completely hairless man?
What the fuck, you douchebag?
It is pretty fascinating, Steve. We're going to be honest. Do you have alopecia or something, or what's going on there?
It's Chris is a suka. That's how you say it. What was your question?
I said, do you have alopecia or something? Like,
no. You can't see the camouflage eyebrows. Robbie knows what I'm talking about. This is the ginger curse. Yeah. So.
When people hear that you are part African American, it is like a mind-blowing situation. There's no fucking way. Unless it's a Michael Jackson thing.
I got photos.
Your photos when you were black, or
photos with my grandpa's right next to me.
No, it's fascinating. All right. What did we do? Oh, yeah, that's right. It was that dude from the Eagles. That was your latest choice. Wait. What? What's this? He's what? He's part what? F-U-J Screw. You're gonna love Hughesy. There's so many people. Hughesy does guest appearances, guest co-hosting on WATP, and fucking so many people hate him, and they're like, "That guy's not funny at all," and like he's fucking annoying. Yeah, and I'm like, how do you not love Hughesy
every time? Like
he's a fucking gel. I don't understand it.
Remember the line he was saying about somebody in a Black Panther? He would eat their ass like it was oxygen if he was the
Napita Luongo. Isn't that her name?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we were talking about my cousin, who I'm not going to mention again right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Did she just put out the book?
Yeah, she
Should
did.
we? Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Shouldn't
I
be
think
called DJ Scoop. Whatever.
yeah. Something tells me it wouldn't stand for disc jockey. But I would put Husey to the test on, like when people say something like, "Oh, I can listen to them read a phone book" or whatever. I bet he could make that fucking hilarious.
Him and Kendrick Lamar, two people I could listen to read a phone book.
I'd actually love to hear Husey do Kendrick Lamar raps.
Oh my god, that's amazing! Oh my god!
Kendrick Lamar, is he black? F Kendrick Lamar.
Wait a minute. I love that he remembered. I'd feel carrying Washington's mouth. I'd feel Kerry Washington's mouth full of so much you know what. It would look like her teeth were melting.
I'm sorry, cousin. Oh shit.
I love that he remembered. That's fucking great.
Shit. You weren't supposed to remember. Oh man. See? Phone book, I'm telling you. Oh man. That made me cry.
I honestly don't understand. I mean, Husey can be an acquired taste, you know what I mean? But I don't understand why people don't like Husey. He's fucking awesome. He's hilarious. My next cab off the rank. Look, there's a lot of basketball influence, and I'm going with a guy that. Look, he's a legend in Australian basketball. Andrew Gaze in the 90s. What?
Come on, it's obvious. What's the name again?
Oh, Gaze. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I didn't expect you to laugh so hard at just his name, but yeah, it is.
I'm already giggling from the last joke.
Yeah. No, look, he's a legend in Australian basketball, and arguably is Australia's greatest homegrown basketball talent. You could argue Paddy Mills, and I could put Paddy Mills on this list because he led Australia to a bronze medal. But Andrew Gaze was just such a legend in the NBL, our league over here. And then he managed to go over, and he was on the Spurs 1999 championship team. Now, he was just on the bench, you know what I mean? Didn't get a lot of minutes and all that. But for everything that he achieved in Australia and how great he was considered in Australia, to then I was genuinely happy for him to actually get over and get on a championship winning NBA team just to put that on his resume. But I hated him as a kid. He was a rival. He played for the Melbourne Tigers. The Perth Wildcats played a final series against them and lost on our own floor. Robbie's favorite Australian basketball player. Is that what you're looking at, Robbie?
The second we went back to this segment, our viewership got cut in half again.
Oh, yeah. We dropped again, yeah.
It was... We were at an all-time high when my cousin's teeth were melting.
Yeah. I mean, do we just bail on that? Or we let Husey run our show from the chat?
What was I going to say? Oh, it took me a little bit to convert the year that you said he went over to the Spurs, because for a second I thought you were saying the 1990 to 99 season. I was like, how the fuck would it be 9 years for the season, or basically 10 years? And then I realized you were saying 19 Australia. Yeah.
19. Yeah. That is correct. That's true. What was I gonna say? Fuck. Yeah, no, he was a rival and I hated him, and they won a championship. What was I had a fucking closing thought. Oh yeah. No, wait.
What were you gonna say about the Gays?
Well, yeah. Fuck. I did have that's right. I met him a few years ago, and when I meet celebrities, I try and go with something a little bit more random than what they're used to fucking hearing. Like, I could have gone, oh man, you're a fucking legendary basketball player, all that. But I met him and he's on this like Australian rules football show these days. And so that's what I talked to him about. I was like, you're really funny on that show, The Bounce. And we talked about footy instead of, or football, as opposed to his basketball career. And yeah, he was a great guy. I was fucking drunk off my ass, but he was really friendly. So it's always nice when someone is like that, because imagine how many fucking drunk idiots have come up to him over the years, and especially in Perth where they were a rival. To see this drunk idiot walk up to him, he was super friendly. And the other thing I remember, I think it was the 94 World Championships, or it might have been the 96 Olympics. I remember Charles Barkley, never forget this quote. He's like, we got to watch out for this Andrew Hayes guy. This Andrew Hayes is pretty good. And I was like, I just love that Charles Barkley was aware of this guy, but like not aware enough to actually have his name right.
Yeah.
Robbie, who have you got next?
Yes. Let's go with Liam Hendricks, the closer of the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah.
Who
another Perth Heat.
Got battled. I think it was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma a couple years ago, and came back and is closing for the White Sox again.
I think the best thing from Liam Hendricks was the All-Star game when he was swearing like a motherfucker while
did that thing like when he struck the guy out.
Yeah, and he's sitting there going, "Fuck, son of a bitch, fuck you." You know what I mean? Like, I love that when the pitch, because I do that as a cricketer when I'm bowling. When you release the ball, like, immediately, the instant it leaves your hand, it's kind of like darts. The instant
or shooting basketball.
Yeah. The instant it leaves, you know that it's fucked if it's fucked, And like, I used to do that. I used to have to apologize to batsmen in cricket because I would let go of the ball and go, "Fuck." And it's like, that's kind of a distraction thing. Like, you shouldn't be distracting the batsman, like they've got to face this ball. But I just knew the instant I left my hand that it was a shitty delivery. So hearing Liam Hendricks just fucking swear his nut off in that All-Star game was pretty hilarious. And yeah, it shows he's a fighter to battle the cancer thing, the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Which, if Matt Wilson or Mike Roach are still in the chat, shout out brother Martin and his non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. But no, good choice. Liam Hendricks is, again, another Perth Heat player. I'm going to go back to baseball as well, and another Perth Heat baseball player, fellow by the name of Luke Hughes. Ever heard of him, Robbie?
I've heard of the hockey player Luke Hughes. Haven't heard of the baseball player.
So he played for the Minnesota Twins. Probably sort of around 2010, I would guess.
Wait, was he the guy that almost died shoveling snow?
Possibly. I don't know that story, but possibly.
He fell on the shovel and
he came from Perth, so shoveling snow isn't a fucking amazingly different. Imagine that. Growing up in Perth, Western Australia, and getting drafted to Minnesota. Like, that is such a fucking shock to the system. To grow up in like what is basically just a hot climate here, and we never see snow in Perth.
But this guy's name, it reminds me of, like, if you told me, "Hey, read this name," and I would have said, "No, I'm not fucking doing it. It's a trick." Like, Luke Hughes, like, somehow putting that name together is like Mike Hunt or something like that. It just seems like a name that's going to be like that.
There's a pun there somewhere, definitely.
Yeah. And is his nickname Hughesy?
Well, that's a good one. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, it would have been. Hey,
he is
sorry,
so obscure that when I first clicked on Luke Hughes baseball, the profile for a 5'7", 2023 outfielder from Roswell, Georgia, who goes to Blessed Trinity Catholic School, popped up before the MLB player did.
There you go.
Yeah. Luke Hughes, class of 2023, perfect game organization player profile. And then I just scrolled down, and it said former Twins and Oakland Athletics baseball player.
Oh, he played for the Athletics as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remembered him when I started going to Perth Heat games in, I don't know, I forget. Yeah. He was coming over because obviously our summers are opposite. He was coming back and playing for the Perth Heat during the American winter. And yeah, they were really good at like the guys like me, like, you know, chatting to the kids after the games and stuff like that. You know, kids getting to meet sort of star baseball athletes. I actually went to school with a couple of guys who got college scholarships for baseball. And they never got anywhere professionally, but yeah, they were really good at baseball. And I forget what college they went to, but yeah, it's a pretty cool thing to be able to, you know, to grow up in Perth and get a scholarship to an American college. Like, I think that would be really cool to head over there and spend your college years in American college. Robbie, what do you got next?
How about this one? Just because his nickname's hilarious. He's a former Mariners starting pitcher, Ryan Rowland-Smith. But his nickname, because there's a hyphen in his nickname, everyone just calls him the hyphen. And he still does broadcast games for the Mariners. And when they like talk, like, you know, what do you think's going on in this game? They'll go hyphen. What do you think's going on? No one calls him Ryan Rowland-Smith. They just call him the hyphen.
I like that when a nickname takes over.
Yeah.
Good. You're what? Other than one football player, you're pretty baseball heavy, aren't you? At this point.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah.
But you still have my guys that I'm going to run down quickly, so I will throw it off of the baseball track.
Well, yeah. Sorry, I forgot because I didn't ask you to actually research or do anything. You've got some. Let's jump to you. Oh, hang on. Chris and Des Moines. How about Robbie names his top 5 gravies? He is
not steak gravy.
So Scoop, hit us with a couple of yours then.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I already told you that the best one is Greg Norman, and I will die on that hill. So we'll move on from him. But I found a couple of swimmers. I forgot about the Torpedo baby.
Yeah.
I hated him at the time, but mad respect. That guy was badass. Although, you know, they had those crazy swimsuits that they're not allowed to use anymore. But people are still breaking records, so I guess it doesn't fucking matter. But that guy was dangerous. I remember wanting Phelps to, you know, get all the medals, and I was like, oh, this guy's gonna get in the way, you know. So mad respect to him. And then his counterpart is Becky McKeon or something like that. She's got like a shit ton of Olympic medals. So she's on the other side and probably more medals than Torpedo. So yeah, I grabbed a couple of swimmers, and then
this segment is great. You should lead off with this next week. All right,
well,
fuck off then, Red Man. Get fucked yourself.
Then Ozzy, do you know? I'll set the stage actually. So there's that famous Olympic moment, track and field, 1968, Mexico City. There's the one with the two guys, John Carlos, and now I'm forgetting the other guy's name. And so, you know, the two black guys that raised their fists, they're in first and can't remember, it's third. And
Yeah. I thought it was second, third, but it could have been first and third.
I think based on what the picture that I'm looking at, it's first and third. So anyways, they did that thing and it was big. But who was the other fucker that was up there? He was Australian. And his name is Peter Norman. Do you know that fucker?
No, I was thinking, there are some relatively famous runners from back in the day. But no, Peter Norman I was not aware of.
Yeah,
you're big on your Normans from Australia.
Yeah, the picture that I have is horrible, but there he is, the white guy standing.
He's like, why me?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just I thought that guy's an important person in history. It's like, hey, there's this huge moment. Who was the other guy? Peter Norman from Australia. So anyway, and then I wanted to go. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna pick somebody with the craziest name. And I found this guy named Franz Stampfel, but it turned out he wasn't actually Australian. He just did some coaching that ended up over here. And is Roger Bannister Australian or no?
I think
is he American? He's a Brit. Okay, because
I don't
he's
know.
famous for coaching that guy for the first sub 4-minute mile also. But I stopped reading once I found out he was Austrian or whatever. So now I'm just gonna have to go with chalk. And I'm going to choose that chick from the 2000 Sydney Olympics because
Kathy Freeman.
I ran track, so I went track heavy. But yeah, I thought what she did, with the Aboriginal background, and I know she probably gets treated like shit. So it's probably some hurdles that she had to get over. Forgive the pun.
Ironic
to still be able to achieve that.
No, that was great. It was a great moment for Australian sports. Robbie's top 5 gravy list: sausage gravy, turkey gravy, chicken gravy, brown gravy, and Justin's gravy. Thank you, just Josh. Damn it.
Brown gravy. I wonder if that
no, that Kathy Freeman 200-meter gold medal win at the 2000 Sydney Olympics was that was pretty massive. That gets replayed and replayed over and over at fucking nauseum. So you're definitely a big moment. I like that you went a different route as swimmers. I'm blanking on the guy's name, but like he was a 1500-meter swimmer and he won like gold medal multiple times.
Yeah.
And
I forgot she wore that hood thing when she ran.
Yes. Yeah, after you mentioned Thorpe and his swimsuit, I actually remembered that she had that running suit. So bring that back up, Robbie. Don't worry, guys. I hit the like button. That's fine. Just Josh. Thank you. Thanks for hitting the like button. Yeah. Hit the like button, you fucking cowards. Hit that like button.
I have a confession. I wouldn't have remembered the Becky McKeon if she weren't right next to Ian Thorpe's picture. And I went, oh yeah, her too.
There was a
racist or sexist.
There was a female Australian swimmer, Stephanie Rice. I forget. She might have been around 2008, 2012, somewhere around there, where she was at the Olympics. She was a fucking smoke show. Super hot. Anyway, this 1500-meter swimmer, like he'd won the 92 gold medal like fucking easily, and then in 1996 he qualified, like he barely qualified for the final. And then just torched everyone in the final from the 8th lane. He fucking dominated. I can't remember if he set the world record, but just came from nowhere to win it in the final. But I can't remember his name. So fuck him.
I forgot there is a Matthew Ryan that was on the list somewhere. I just randomly caught that there's some Australian athlete that's notable, and his name is Matthew Ryan. Of course, I thought of our buddy Robbie when I passed by that name. And Stephen Hooker also made me think of Robbie. So
Stephen Hooker was a pole vaulter.
Whoa, I can tell he was a pole vaulter.
Yeah, well done. Big fucking red mop. So yeah, Robbie, there's if they made poles that could hold your weight, you could be a pole vaulter.
Can you imagine him? Yeah. It just disintegrates.
Yeah. Robbie just runs up, sticks it in his anus, and just yeah.
Oh God,
Robbie, who's your next one? Is this your 5th one?
Yeah,
number 5?
thank God.
Your last one.
College punters everywhere.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
Brian,
half of all 133 FBS teams as of September had Australian rules football punters, according to Los Angeles Times. So who knows if it's correct or not? But that was the article I saw.
That's like a Ben Maller poll the credibility.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy that it's become that. Like, so my last one is Darren Bennett, and he was the first. He was the first Australian rules football player to go over and be a punter in the US, and that was like, I think, early 90s that he left Australia. And then it started with Ribman. I refuse to hit the like button during this segment. Yeah, all right.
But why did you pick that guy over Jared Hayne or whatever his name was?
Well done, you remembered his name, because Jared Hayne is a rapist.
Sorry.
It never stopped you before, Ozzy.
I've never said his name on this podcast before. You were the one.
Yeah, because he was a Niner. Come on, man.
just
I'm
said
proud
it,
of that
Ozzy,
guy.
Hey?
You just said his name. You said he never said it on a podcast.
Until Scoop did.
Until I did.
Yeah, that was the point of what I just said.
Okay,
Well,
shut up.
Great gotcha moment there, Robbie. Fuck me. Pay attention.
He's a Niner, man. I'm proud of this pedigree.
The Aussie muffed it. G'day, mate.
I so wanted him to do good. I thought it was going to be the coolest story if we had this Pro Bowler came from nowhere out of Australia, you know, and then he just went away and raped people.
Yeah, exactly. He left and then he got all rapey and that was him. No, like watching him as a rugby player, like, and he was a supreme talent in rugby league in Australia. And I was like, no, that he does have the attributes of a good running back if he can like learn the game. But I think what that proved to me and other people crossing over to other sports is it's very difficult, you know, if you haven't grown up with the sport. And that's why, going back to the punters, that's why it works. Like, you've grown up with Australian rules football, you're kicking the football all the time, like, and you're going over to the US and it's like, yeah, well, once every now and then I just got to fucking bomb the ball down the field. That's what you've grown up doing. The other aspect that I think is the even bigger aspect to Australian punters becoming popular in the US is the fact that growing up playing Australian rules football, you know how to tackle. So if a punt returner does manage to break through, your last line of attack is the punter. And these are guys that have grown up, they know how to tackle and they can bring the guy down. So it's not just the punting, it is also the ability to stop a punt returner if required. I know there was a guy, Severio Rocker, who had a great Australian rules football career, and then he retired and then went over and punted. And there's great highlights of him fucking demolishing punt returners as they broke through. And then he just comes charging through and just goes boom and just fucking destroys the guy. I think not just their ability of like growing up kicking a football, it is also that fact growing up knowing how to tackle.
I just don't understand with punters why they're not able to just fucking, even if you didn't want to try to pin them, you know, within the 10 or something, but like if you're like all the way deep in your zone, you know, you're like at your 10 or 20 yard line. Like, I know people who could kick that fucking ball all the way to the other end zone. Like, I know people like that play football only at like junior college level that could do that. And you know, these guys that are in the NFL are like insanely talented. I don't understand why they don't just go, all right, let's get them to start at the 20. Poof. Or, well, you know,
I think that there's something to be said for the pressure that comes on a punt. Because the guys that I've seen in Australian rules football that bomb it a long way, it's uncontested kicks. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, under pressure, I've never seen somebody kick a ball, you know, 80, 90 yards. But you give them free space and let them just kick it. Yeah, they can bomb that fucking thing. And they could bomb it the length of the field. But it's the fact that defense is rushing them. You've got to rush your kick. It's much harder to get it perfect and, you know, blast it a long way. I think it has a lot to do.
But that's where you go like Steph Curry mode, right? Like, Steph Curry is not supposed to be able to hit those shots with barely catching the ball, barely looking and launching it right away, right? It makes it way more difficult, supposedly, if you do it that way. Yet he hits them like crazy because he just shoots a million of them, I guess, in practice or whatever. But
Yeah.
so you just think, okay, I get it. What you said totally makes sense. So why don't they fucking practice that, and just practice. So that's
a good
just
point.
me. I know the hang time is the other part of it, but I'm just saying, if you just wanted to be like, listen, we're at our 10 or 20. We want them to be on the other side, not the standard. Oh, they're going to catch it at their 40 and run it back to our 40 or 30. Like that shit drives me insane. It's like, come on, there's got to be somebody who can get it further. Anyways, sorry.
All right, Robbie, just call this the Punts and Cunts podcast. Why not? Robbie, I want you to summarize this segment while I take a quick piss break. Go.
Ooh, go, Eddie.
I zoned out. I'm not gonna lie.
Come on, the Australian athletes segment. We'll summarize.
No, the segment, yeah, but the conversation you and Ozzy
No,
guy
he
just
said
had.
the segment. Summarize the segment while he's gone.
A segment about Australian rules, or not Australian players that played in America.
Jay Scoop has seen less bombing in Ukraine than what just happened right there. Are you fucking kidding me, Robbie? I did that on purpose.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was flustered, because it's like he's setting me up to fail on purpose.
Always do. If Robbie's hood falls any lower, he's going to disappear, just like Ben Simmons' foul shot. That's false, just Ben Simmons never had a foul shot. Oh, Roxanne moment. Oof, Big Greg going hard in the paint.
He's just standing over Robbie right now going,
Ribband. Hood. That's where you put a question mark, Ribband. Hood thought that was a boat cover. Or a tent from Big Greg.
Oh, man.
So, so Joe Feeney's let us down. He's not here. I don't know. Do we save that? Maybe we save that for another episode. I thought we would go back to something that we did a long time ago. We did once, and it's just a short little one. But how about as a closing little segment?
Don't do it.
Keeping the theme Australian. We're gonna do guess the Australian slang.
Okay, I thought you were gonna do the. Now, can you remember what I said earlier in the episode?
Oh.
I would be so fucked. That game's the worst game for me.
I won it the one time.
You literally could have just said it in the previous sentence, and I'd be like,
yeah. Now we're going to guess the Aussie slang again.
Maybe there's a
Drongo, right? Drongo.
It's a full circle.
I miss Rox. She was always so completely unprepared.
That might be why you miss her.
Has nothing
Wasn't
to do
that
with
one of your words? You don't be a drongo.
Yeah, we did Drongo last time. Drongo was one of them.
Yeah, that one stuck somehow.
Yeah. All right. So guess the Australian slang, folks. No helping in the chat. Your name is your buzzer. And we all know Robbie buzzes in first and thinks later. So
Google.
Scoop gets time to think. Put your phones away. This is not a thumb war. This is a game for the hang on a second. Sorry.
How does summarizing and finalizing mean the same?
Kind of like Robbie finalizing the Australian. Well, I mean, yeah, all right. If you want to be. I mean, if I was going to be technical, the Australian spelling of that is with an S, not a Z. So, or a Z. But no, guess the Australian slang. The way this game works is I'll tell you something that's said in Australia, and these guys are going to try and guess what the fuck that means.
Bring it, motherfucker.
All right. So the first one for this week in Guess the Australian Slang, again, your name is your buzzer.
J
What?
Scoop.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What's your answer? No, I'm
It's,
holding you to that.
No, it's actually the slang for pizza pie.
Brilliant. All right, now let's be serious.
Okay.
What is a dunny?
A dunny, like Dunny.
Robbie,
Yeah, Robbie.
like an
yeah,
ATV or 4-wheeler.
wrong.
Ooh,
Scoop.
that's a good guess, though. That kind of makes sense to me after you think about it. A dunny. Ah, man, that's especially after thinking of Robbie's answer. I'm like, that's kind of like. I'll stay along that theme. I'm gonna say it's like the nickname for a decent sized, like a 1.5 ton truck or whatever, but a bigger truck, like a big truck.
Incorrect.
Screw you. We're correct. You just learned it wrong.
It's a toilet. A dunny is a toilet.
Dunny? I just got done on the dunny.
Thanks for joining us, Chris and Des Moines. I got to go. Be here for the next one, barring it being cancelled. See you next time, gentlemen. Don't call us gentlemen. That's cool.
See you, Chris.
But thanks for joining us. I'm just waiting for that 6 to drop to 5 as he leaves. But yeah. So that's the first. So no points on the board. We'll go to
That
number
one
2.
doesn't even make sense. Maybe
What?
dumpy.
It's a dunny. Go on to the dunny.
Next one. Can you tell like us if there's any kind of like correlate, like why?
No
I
idea.
know sometimes there is no description, but sometimes it'd be like, oh, that's because
yeah, no
whatever.
idea. Don't ask me to explain this shit, Scoop. None of this,
if there's an obvious reason, I just ask for you to tell us.
The next one does have an obvious reason. Dunny doesn't. The next one does.
Okay.
What are you doing when you do a Yui?
Come on, it can't be
Robbie.
In America, that's obvious. It can't.
When you do a reverse turn with a car.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
That's what we do in America. That one doesn't count. That's the same thing.
You guys do a Yui?
Yeah.
Oh wow. There you go. Thought that was an Aussie thing.
Yeah, that one doesn't count. Me and him both knew it instantly because
Robbie got in first.
Yeah, but you heard me. I went no way because I knew what it was.
Well, I was willing to look stupid to say
I literally
think that counts. That's an international word.
We'll throw that one out. I did some Googling.
There was no foul by Jesse on that play. Challenge is successful.
No. If we're tied at the end, Robbie wins. That's what that means. Yeah. No, I had a few in mind, and then I did some Googling, and the old Yui popped up, and I was like, as an Australian slang term. So I was like, all right, I'll go with doing a Yui. That's fine.
I should have said it's when you get a baby sheep and you have your way with it. You're pulling a ewe. Isn't it a baby sheep or something?
A ewe is a female sheep, I believe.
Okay,
so that's the one that's the one you'd probably rather fuck.
That's what Arkansas people do.
Yeah, well, for us, it's New Zealanders. New Zealanders fuck sheep. Yeah. All right. What is a servo?
A servo?
Servo, yeah.
Robbie.
Or are you saying server with an Australian accent?
SERVO.
A computer.
Yeah. Scoop.
I really have heard that word before, but honestly, just like Robbie, like I think of server, and so I assume maybe it's just some twist having to do with the computer industry, but there's no way that's what your fucking Australian dumbass word is. Servo. I don't even know what to pretend to say what that word is. Servo.
Gas station?
4, 3,
Servo.
2.
It's a waiter. It's a waiter.
Robbie, you already answered,
Mm.
but you're right.
Damn it!
Wait, what?
Robbie was right with a gas station. Yeah.
Gassed it. Oh, he said it after his first
Yeah,
guess.
it doesn't. It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah. So
Oh, okay.
he's
okay.
wrong. Like he's wrong. He doesn't get a point. But
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
right
yeah.
the second time.
No,
you know?
but that's
Yeah.
cool that he thought of it eventually. Because
and
I
that's-
was like, I don't know what the fuck it is. Server. Okay, a server at the restaurant. You know, like
Yeah.
servo.
That's the problem with Robbie. He jumps in too quick and then
Mhm.
answers, and then in this occasion he thought about it, and he actually, if he had have waited, he would have got it right, but he didn't. So
I have a question. Is that like the brand name that's like a popular brand name of those over there? Or
No,
is that
so-
just what they call all of them?
no, yeah. So basically, back in the day, a gas station was where you get your car serviced as well.
Oh, okay.
Whereas now you have like separate mechanic businesses and you just fuel up.
Yeah.
But we still call them service stations. And then obviously short them to servos. So
Makes
yeah,
sense.
that's all right. Now I'm going because it's hashtag World Cup 2023 in the cricket. So I'm heading to the cricket world. These aren't necessarily just Australian. They are cricket slang. But here we go. Because I was watching cricket earlier. Australia was playing New Zealand. And so this inspired me. Because we do have some funny things that we say. No way you guys are getting these, but let's see what happens.
Thanks a lot, douche. You're a
Now-
super.
Now, I will accept, like, it can be more vague than, like, the specific thing. But, yeah, anyway, you're not going to get it.
You dick.
What is, in a game of cricket, what are you if you're plum?
Robbie,
Go, Robbie.
in a good scoring position, like you're in scoring position.
False. Or incorrect. Jay's Coop.
Plum. God, these fucking Australian words, man. Plum. I'll be plum tickled if it's happened. I'm just trying to think what the fuck I would use plum.
That's not a bad angle to think about things.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say they're on a streak of some kind. You know, like if they were if it baseball equivalent, if they were on a hitting streak or you know how many in a row of something. They're hot. They're basically hot. They're on a heater.
No. Oh,
Come on, no, change it. That was better.
So what that means is you're obviously out. Like, so for example, it's kind of like I guess I describe it like a strikeout in baseball, but it's so you can get out. If the ball hits your body and it would have gone on to hit the stumps, that's called leg before wicket and you're out. So if you're plum, it means it was so obvious the entire world could see it. Like, because there's conjecture about it. It's kind of like the strike zone. Like, you know, there's a strike zone. It could be slightly outside and the umpire calls it a strike. In this instance, this is dead center of the strike zone. You know what I mean? Absolutely. It was plumb. It was fucking perfectly in there. There is no doubt. There is no question.
So say an example. You're the analyst or announcer, and you say the sentence like how they would say it.
All right. So it literally happened today, and cricket now has all sports have reviews. So I'll read this comment. Robbie, when he is unhappy, equals Donkey Kong losing in Mario Kart. Yeah, I don't think Robbie's got that much energy. So it happened today. An Australian batsman, and we got review system now. I actually tweeted about this. There's a review system. It's been around for years, but you can review. If the umpire gives you out, you can review it, and they'll analyze the fucking video. What I said when this delivery was bowled and it hit him on the pads, I went, "Oh my god, that is so plumb." And the point being is, it wrapped him on the pads, and there was no doubt that it was going to hit the stumps. So yeah, it's a hard one to like. That's just what you'd say. It was like that. That's plumb. Like there's no doubt that ball was going to hit the stumps. And the funny thing is, the review system took so long. This is what I tweeted about. He saw the first replay of where the ball hit him on the pads. This is the player that reviewed it. The ball hit him on the pads. He saw the first replay and he went, "Oh, I'm fucked." And he started walking off. Right? And
he doesn't even try to sell it. He's just like, fuck.
Yeah, and then they've got to go through the whole process of the review system, and like it was taking forever. It's like, can you get this shot up next? Can you get this shot up next? This guy was literally in the change rooms taking off his entire uniform by the time they eventually said, yes, that is out. You know what I mean? That's how plumb it was. Like, he saw one replay of his own wicket and went, yeah, I'm fucked. Time to go. You know what I mean? So that's what plumb is when even the batsman knows he's out, I guess.
But it's only for strikeouts, because it sounds like that could be a general term for like anything obvious.
Well, no, just me referring to strikeouts is trying to help you understand, like the strike zone, like the stumps, the three stumps in cricket. That's your strike zone, like in terms of.
But do people use it for anything? You know, obvious.
It's literally just if you get hit on the body, and there's no doubt it's going to hit the stumps. That's plumb.
Yeah, you know, I get that. I'm just saying, do some people, tangent it off to other topics because they're just like, well, that's super, obvious, basically. So I'll use it for other obvious things.
No,
like it was plumb that girl was going to reject you, Robbie, at the bar. So
yeah, I see where you're going, but no. All right. So the final one, and this is Think Baseball and Think Baseball hitters. I'm going to give a clue because at this point, if neither of you get this, Robbie will win based on the
bullshit, man.
All right. What does straight out of the screws mean?
Robbie.
Go, Robbie.
Like he hit it really hard right on the sweet spot.
Bang.
Robbie wins. Yeah, but that's another baseball fucking term.
Like, is that a term in baseball?
I've heard
he hit it on the screws.
Yeah, it's so. But Robbie still wins because I know what you were giving him the edge for, but I'm still impressed by the gas station thing. Like that's fucking awesome. Yeah. So I would still give him the win unless I had somehow gotten that.
I'm in shock.
And I was thinking the same thing, but again, it's a term I've heard with.
Look, in all my hours of laying there listening to like random baseball talk, I'd never heard straight out of the screws. I've only heard that related to cricket.
Well,
let's go back to the United States.
He hit it on the screws. Yeah, they don't say straight, but they say something very similar.
Yeah, the words aren't exactly the same, but it's enough the same that it's pretty obvious.
Well, that's fine. No, then go fuck yourself, Skeet. You're just bitter that you lost.
No, I already gave him the win without that point. Too late.
All right, well, fucking, I tried to do something for the show. All right, go fuck yourself.
No, it was good. Right, now I'll have to brush up on my down under knowledge. Son of a bitch. All right, I got the Akadaka one. That's what I was trying to remember. One that I got right.
I went 0 for 5 that one.
Yeah, Robbie failed on that one. No, Ribman, we will go back to the United States part of the show, and that is where we screw over everybody medically, and so that's why Robbie is struggling with COVID, is because there's no good medical support in the US. You don't have,
and there is in Australia.
Free healthcare. Yeah, well, you get free healthcare, I guess is the point.
You should stop spitting in each other's mouth at work, Robbie.
Yeah. Your gay friend at work.
He doesn't work.
It's fun to stay at the.
He got. There's like a new rubber factory in Corvallis that he got hired at.
It's a new rubber factory.
Yeah, like rubber tire factory or something.
Rubber tire.
Oh, that kind.
Yeah.
I thought it was used condoms factory.
How did you not hear those words coming out of your mouth? when you said rubber factory. How did you not?
Recycling prophylactics factory.
All right, we've gone super long. This is our longest episode so far. And I reckon cumulatively we've got 12 views on this, which is really good. Couldn't be prouder of that fact. I guess we'll leave the big announcement for another time. No, fuck it. Because when can I ever rely on Joe Feeney to arrive? No, what's happening with... No, actually, I'll do it in the plugs. So, J Scoop, what are your plugs?
I have a butt
Plug your
plug.
PayPal and shit
Oh.
for everyone to support you on that.
What's that? The PayPal?
Plug your PayPal so everyone can fucking...
Yeah, anybody who wants to help over here, and you know that it'll go straight to the actual people who need it, like the civilians or the military guys that are hurting, that their arm blown off and they're sitting there squirting out and they need a tourniquet. That's where this will go to. But yeah, if you hit up my
arm, right? You said arm blown off,
arm, leg, whatever.
Sorry, just Robbie's eyes lit up when he heard
that. He was like
blown off and squirting.
But yeah, if you want to contribute, you can shoot it to me at PayPal, and it's just you just look up my email. So it's WAN as in November, YA25 M as in Mike at yahoo.com.
Yeah, if you can, send Scoop a few bucks and just help him get the supplies that they need to stop people from dying. Basically, that's
if you're on Twitter, I refuse to call it the other thing. I will be posting a video soon of some of the guys accepting the stuff that already had been contributed, and people such as Big Greg and Robbie pitched in, and so you'll get to see one's a photo and one's a video, them saying thanks. So it's pretty cool.
No, it's awesome, and yeah, anyone that's helping out Scoop and what he's doing over there, I really appreciate it. And again, forget about the political bullshit. Scoop's helping people, and just help Scoop. The money's not going to Zelensky; it's going to Scoop and what he's doing. Ribman, we were all healthy until Scoop went on his US tour.
Yeah, somehow I gave him COVID without me ever getting COVID in my life.
Yeah, pretty sure Ribman gave you COVID, right? But, yeah.
No, I never got it. But 2 days later or something, he was like, I got COVID and Scoop gave it to me. I'm like, I've never had it.
Well, yeah, it's a good point. Well, you probably... Wait, was that before or after Shane?
It was before. Shane was on the comeback. Forgive the pun.
Yeah. Well, again, happy birthday, Shane. Didn't see him here in the chat, which is disappointing.
Bastard.
I was hoping to see Shane here, but he let me down. If you're in the chat, Shane, I would have sent you the link, but you weren't here, so I didn't send you the link.
Oh, I got a side note. My producer sent me one of my songs, another song that's fully completed, and it sounds kick-ass. So I'm one song closer to fucking finally finishing this marathon of songs that I've been trying to finish so I can release everything. But I'm excited. It's really good. So hopefully you guys will get to hear it sooner than later.
That's awesome.
Daymare Remedy, the band.
Is that a play on Nightmare?
It is. Brilliant. Because the quick rundown is from my PTSD. I have nightmares most of my life. I've had jobs where I worked kind of graveyard shift. So when I had those nightmares, it was during the day. And then, of course, well, what do I do to remedy this? I do fitness, I do music or whatever. So I showed music is the remedy for the daymares. So, yeah.
Very good. Robbie, plugs.
You can follow us at USA US Pod, and that's our United States of Australia X page / Twitter account. And then that was for you, Ozzy, or J Scoop. And then you can find me at Mariner Robbie on Twitter as well. And those are my social. That's my social media page, and Ozzy, or you know what I mean.
United States of Australia page, yeah. US AUS Pod.
No,
Robbie
it's
and-
USA US Pod.
Yes, but it's also US AUS pod.
USA US Pod.
US AUS. Yeah. So yeah, in terms of the the podcast feed has been dormant for a while, and yeah, that's my bad, and like I'm fucking terrible for that. But I've made a deal with Joe Feeney of the head of the Creative Control Network, who is also the third mic and the producer of Keeping It 100 with Conan, which has many, many, many listeners. We are going to be joining the Creative Control Network, and the podcast feed will be kicking off again. I started editing some stuff today. But yeah, I'm gonna debut a bunch of stuff once we move over to Creative Control. Joe's gonna put in work for us in terms of promotion, and you know, if he can get us a sponsor, he will. Like, look, it's not easy when you're a small up and coming podcast, but Joe's done it for a lot of people, and he's got people sponsors and help them out, and just a little bit of money to trickle in to help us. Like little shit, like I created a video today, but like I'm not paying for a video editor, and anyone that could let me know like a free video editing software, let me know. But I was going to play a video at the start of the show, but it had a watermark on it. It's like really embarrassing. I'm not doing that. Like, but like I don't. So if I'm going to pay for stuff to make this show better, like point is I'm not putting my own money in. I guess is the point. Like this is something we do at most once a week, if not once a fortnight. Like I do have a real life and a job, so and a family and shit like that. So yeah, the move makes sense to go over to Creative Control and let Joe help us out. And yeah, if we can get a few dollars to trickle in to where I could subscribe to something that helps the show and put a little bit of money into the show, back into the show, then yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, that's the big news. Unfortunately, Joe wasn't here today. I know Joe would have mentioned Mark Bradkey as a Australian athlete in US sports, but I won't add anything to that. Just quickly before we go, wait, what's that name? Soren? Ringholm. Great show, guys. Cheers. Appreciate that. Bit of a sarin gas jumping in.
Hey, I wonder if he's ever been to the Serengeti.
Yeah, there you go. Puns are flowing. Good show, guys. Lose weight, Robbie. Thanks, Ribman. You've been rude and mean the entire time, but I appreciate that you thought it was a good show. What else we got here? Robbie's remedy is fitting this burrito in his mouth. Yes. Wait, what is the joke? Robbie's into fitness burrito in his mouth.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Wasn't there? There's one more from Rimman. So it was before he. Wait, what just happened there? Robbie, what did you do? Robbie's just playing with shit. Robbie's just playing with shit now. I shouldn't have given you co-hosting fucking abilities.
There we go.
Jesus Christ. What
was that comment though? The BD, what was it? I didn't.
It was before he killed BDB.
You're drinking Brian.
Oh, that's right. Fuck. Good call, Rib, man. I forgot that J Scoop killed Beer Drinking Brian.
That I think I did do somehow.
That's tremendous. All right, let's wrap it up. Let's finish off with my final plugs. There's a new Get My Go out, and I am on it for the first time in almost 12 months. I'm on an official episode edited by Mike Durbin of Get My Go. So head on over to youtube.com/getmygo, hit like, hit subscribe, watch the episodes, comment, tell us the funniest comments that I made. Yeah, check it all out. ProWrestlingTees.com/Mike Durbin, where you can get an At That Sussy Guy t-shirt, where I'll hopefully start to maybe put like a United States of Australia shirt up there or something, and Anyone that's got any ideas for a Robbie shirt, a J Scoop shirt,
Shit.
I'd love to hear. Look, we don't have a huge fan base, but there are people within our fan base that they'll wear a shirt for us if it's a good design. So yeah. Anyway, in the meantime, get over and ProWrestlingTees.com/Mike Durbin and get out that Sussy Guy t-shirt, because on Twitter I'm at that Sussy Guy. Just imagine that Aussie guy and put an S where the A should be. We'll catch you next time on United States of Australia.